Hi there, I'm Baldwin Burgess, and I have a question for you. What happens when your kids become your customers? We live in a world where the rules are continuously changing. The way we do things is always defined by new generations. This has happened before and it will happen in the future. And right now, we're at one of those crossroads. We have a choice. We can either adopt and thrive on these changes or let these changes affect us. It's about getting ahead of that curve. And I hear this all the time, and we're all sort of guilty of having a nostalgia for the way we used to do things in the past. And the thing that we're hearing today is a lot of people say, we didn't have all those devices and gadgets, and we used to have more personal connections and so on. It's very sweet, but the point is it's totally irrelevant, because you shouldn't be dwelling on how you did things in the past. You should be thinking about how to succeed in the future. Because once you start speaking like that, you already start sounding like your grandparents or your parents. You are effectively you're operating in a world that you no longer fully understand. So it's a mindset that we need to get rid of. We have to think about the future, not get stuck in the past. Because you simply cannot do your job with yesterday's skills and still expect to be in business tomorrow, at least successfully so. And technology will always change things. And I remember when the cell phone first arrived, it was sort of yuck. We were worried about the privacy invasion. The people who first used it came across as kind of preposterous. Hence, that's why I'm using this picture here. And so the thing is, we often deliberately decide to disqualify ourselves by rejecting innovation and technology at first, only just to find ourselves behind the pack and then have to catch up. I remember in the 90s, some interesting things happened as well. I remember we had one internet connection for our whole department because it wasn't considered to be a very good thing for work to be connected to the internet. It was seen as a distraction, not as a tool. Can you imagine working without the internet today? I guess not. Remember all those people who had to learn how to use Windows and Excel and MS Office all of a sudden because they had rejected it for so long that suddenly they found themselves having to catch up. I think I made my point about that, right? And, when you deliberately decide to forego innovation and technology, you effectively start becoming invisible. Because today in an online connected world, it really matters for you to stand out as a professional. It really matters for you to have a profile. Because how do you think you're going to get hired if you become entirely invisible? There are very easy tools to use, and you should take advantage of them. You have so much to lose by not doing this. Back to the kids now. Now, we often, older people also look at the kids like, this is kind of silly. They're always on their phone. They're always like checking their screen. They don't interact with each other anymore. But the fact is that they do interact with each other, but they've chosen to do it through their devices. For them, this is entirely normal. It is a perspective that we need to learn to understand. Some people say that the phone is that other screen. Actually, the phone is the first screen that people use. It's the thing that people touch most a day. So we can look at it in a way that as an opportunity, or we can continue to see it as something silly that doesn't belong to our generation anymore. Don't fall behind on this one. But most importantly, even in the emerging and frontier markets, the small screen is everything. This is the way that these people can connect to each other in the world, and there's only going to be more of that because that's where most of the youth lives. And often what you'll see in emerging and developing countries is that the average age of the population is usually under 25 years old. So unless you understand the fact that you have an opportunity to connect with the youth who like to use that small screen as the initial engagement point, you're missing out on one of the biggest opportunities in the world right now. And think about it. If you're born in the last 5 years or have kids, you've noticed that it's digital first. It's all they've known. They have absolutely no recollection of an analog life. You've probably seen your toddlers walk up to a screen and try to swipe it, or give them a magazine and they'll try to use their fingers to make the pictures bigger or swipe through the magazine. So this is a reality. This is real. And we have to see the world from their perspective if we effectively want to do business with this generation. Because someone who's 5 years old today will be 15 in only a decade. And that's when they start consuming things. Very important stuff. And so these people do not really enjoy executive summaries or white papers or things like that. No. What they're looking for is something that is a lot more attention span friendly, and most importantly, more engaging. Something that can get under their skin, something that can get them emotionally involved. See, this is the other perspective we have to learn in business. We have to learn how to communicate more intuitively with more emotion. Okay? It's all about getting ahead of that curve. I mean, if you work on this now, you will set yourself apart from the rest. Don't wind up in the catch-up horde that needs to suddenly change all their ways. Make it your own way to evolve along with innovation. Now, I have a program that helps you do that. It's called Business Voodoo, and it not only teaches you how to use technology better to grow your business, but it's also how we can connect better with people by using technology, but also how can we understand the perspective of consumers in the new world. I'll give you insights, things to think about, but also practical information, practical tips and tricks. I'll share with you methods that you can put to work on how you can make sure that you can stay ahead of that curve. And I have a free introduction course, and you can sign up for that below. I think it's, try it out. I have nothing to lose. It's free, and I think it's going to blow your mind. So sign up, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks very much for watching, and until soon.